Thanks for tuning in to Grady Newsource. I'm Brittany Johnson. Hi, I'm sports reporter Brittany Johnson telling you what's up with high school football. I'm Brittany Johnson. Our top story tonight, the gas price crisis in Georgia. Good evening, I'm Brittany Johnson. Tonight, race relations in Northeast Georgia. Brittany Johnson. Tonight's top story. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump may be on UGA's campus today, but later on tonight, citizens from around the world will see who will be the next U.S. president. Local UGA students and Black Lives Matter advocates will be standing in solidarity here tomorrow on these same steps in order to honor the lives of the recent killings of Terrence Crutcher and Keith Scott, along with many others. In the case of hurricane warnings, take action immediately, and in the case of hurricane watches, be prepared as hurricane conditions are possible within your reach. Please stay tuned to the latest forecast. I'm Brittany Johnson with Grady Newsource. Pumpkins come in many different shapes and sizes, but it's important to note that just because a pumpkin may look a little funny on the outside, it's still good to eat on the inside.
Brittany, what did you find out today?
Well, Daniel, in the 231 years that UGA has been open, this year's Commit to Georgia campaign was the largest and most comprehensive fundraising campaign event in history, and it focuses on 3 top priorities. If this looks like a celebration to you, that's because it is one. The Commit to Georgia campaign kickoff celebration is a special event that allows the campus and Athens community to learn more about private funding and the university's top 3 priorities. As you can see behind me, people are all gathered here, students, faculty, staff, and alumni for one cause, to raise money for UGA.
We don't want students to be in a position of having to make a decision, do I go to the University of Georgia or not, because I can or cannot afford it.
President Jerry Moorhead was enthusiastic about sharing the stage with a few UGA students, but he also made sure to explain how removing financial barriers, enhancing the learning environment, and solving grand challenges are his top 3 priorities.
The top priority of this campaign is to raise private support for scholarships and need-based aid to ensure that academically qualified students have access to a UGA education, regardless of their financial background.
To UGA homecoming queen Ashita Rogers, the generosity of UGA sponsors and donors have made a huge impact in her life.
I have benefited tremendously from private support.
The university says so far, the funds has spent $107 million to award more than 25,000 student scholarships. Vice President for Development and Alumni Relations Kelly Kerner also stressed that the campaign was not at all centered around monetary gain. Instead, it was centered around the impact that it will make on a student's life. Live in the newsroom, I'm Brittany Johnson with Grady Newsource. Things are getting a little steamy in Barrow County school system. STEAM education is just one alternative way that students can integrate science and technology with real-world experience.
5 or 10 minutes here could save you half an hour of building and testing.
Meet Lee Bain. He's the STEAM Integration Coordinator for Barrow County School System. You may be familiar with the term STEM, but what about STEAM? In the Barrow County School System, STEAM education is an innovative approach at teaching students the basics of science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics in classroom settings.
Barrow County is a BYOT, Bring Your Own Technology district. We encourage students to bring whatever technology they have to the classroom and for teachers to find ways to integrate that.
Lee Bain is a veteran educator and, according to a community relations specialist, a driving force in the Barrow County school system. He serves as Barrow County's only STEAM integration coordinator and one of the few STEAM coordinators in the state of Georgia.
We do electronics, inventions. This is an invention kit called Makey Makey, where students can have an idea of creating a device and then create it.
Bain helps bring the real world into classrooms via live streaming to Promethean smart boards so students and classroom teachers can see and interact directly with, say, the zookeeper of the Alaska Zoo or the tribal leaders in Oklahoma, just to name a few.
All of our schools have Chromebooks, all of our schools have iPads, All of our schools have student PCs and teacher PCs. All of our schools have interactive whiteboards.
Outside of his work with the school system, Lee Bain serves as a den leader for his son's 5th grade Webelos Den and Cub Master of Cub Scout Pack 789 in Statham. Don't be alarmed from the siren you hear going off. This is only a training exercise, but this same scene isn't just practice for these guys. They take on the huge task of putting their lives at risk every time they step into that uniform.
We see death and we see destruction of houses and contents and people's belongings, things of that nature. So that's kind of the worst days of the job.
This may be just a training center behind me, but firefighters go into buildings like this every single day. Although they may all go in, some may not come out.
It gets a little stressful trying to make sure everybody's okay, keeping track of them, because we want them to be accountable, because once they go into the burning building, you might not see them.
Training Academy Captain John Scarborough admits that although the job may be exciting, not knowing what's going to happen next is always something they stress about.
We've got a little bit of an adrenaline junkie in us, so we thrive off of that adrenaline, but at the same time, the stress of the unknown is part of what the job's all about.
The job may be stressful at times, but these men cope by relying on one another in times of need. Battalion Chief Greg Amison is certain that teamwork is the most important aspect to a job like this.
It's all about team and giving people the respect to get respect, and it's definitely the team atmosphere, because you can't do this job alone at all.
Captain Scarborough is confident that there is no job that his fire department can't figure out.
When in doubt, send the fire department. They will figure it out.
Coming up, how a group of women in Athens are coming together as they transition from full-time jobs in the workplace to full-time jobs at home. Earlier this week, an incident report surfaced concerning 2 UGA football players. Now, the football players were associated with the smell of marijuana in the McWhorter Residence Hall. The Georgia Bulldogs are gearing up for their biggest game of the year this Saturday. The Bulldogs will travel to Jacksonville to play the number 14 Florida Gators. Reporter Cam Gaskins joins us live from UGA Buttsmeer Building with a sneak peek at one of the Bulldogs' last practice sessions. Cam, how do the dogs look? One local jail has a problem. Too many inmates, not enough space. A recent expansion to the Madison County Jail still didn't help. If you are one of the many people trying to take advantage of those Black Friday deals, our digital team is live in the newsroom to test how saving savvy you really are. Leah and LaPortia, what can you tell us?